Bella, a loyal German shepherd, lay trembling on the clinic floor. She was in labor, but something was terribly wrong. Hours had passed, yet not a single puppy was born. When the vet placed the ultrasound on her belly, what he saw made him freeze. And then he screamed, "Oh my God!" Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Bella had always been more than just a pet to Emily. She was family. A loyal German shepherd with kind brown eyes and a gentle heart, Bella had been by Emily's side through every chapter of her life. When Emily learned Bella was expecting puppies, she was overjoyed. She prepared a soft corner of the living room, lined it with blankets, toys, and tiny feeding bottles. Every day she would sit by Bella, talking softly to her growing belly, dreaming of the tiny paws that would soon fill the house with life. As the due date approached, Bella grew quieter, often resting her head on Emily's lap as if sensing something deeper. The night before labor, Emily stroked her fur and whispered, "Tomorrow, you'll be a mom." Neither of them knew that by this time tomorrow, they'd be facing something far beyond a normal birth. The morning arrived quietly, but something was wrong. Bella began pacing the floor, her breathing heavy, her tail tucked low. The first signs of labor were there, contractions, restlessness, soft whimpers, but no puppies came. Hours slipped by. Emily tried to stay calm, whispering gentle words, stroking Bella's back, but the worry in her eyes grew. Bella's whining deepened into low cries. She would lie down, strain, then stand up again, looking at Emily as if pleading for help. Emily called the local vet, who assured her it could take time. But as the sun began to set, the contractions weakened. The vet's reassurance faded from her mind. Something wasn't right. By nightfall, Bella was exhausted. She barely lifted her head, her body trembling from pain. Emily's heart raced and she could feel it in her chest. She knelt beside Bella, tears in her eyes, whispering, "Please, sweetheart, don't give up." When Bella suddenly stopped moving, Emily knew this was no longer normal labor. It was something far more serious. Emily didn't waste another second. Wrapping Bella in a soft blanket, she lifted her trembling body into the back seat of her car. The night was cold, rain pelting against the windshield as thunder rumbled in the distance. The sound of Bella's labored breathing filled the car, every whimper cutting through Emily's heart. She drove through the empty streets, her hands shaking on the wheel, whispering, "Hold on, girl. Just hold on." When she burst through the doors of the emergency veterinary clinic, the nurses rushed forward. "She's in distress," Emily cried. Within moments, Bella was lifted onto a stretcher and wheeled into the exam room. The harsh fluorescent lights flickered above as machines beeped in rhythm with Bella's weakening pulse. Dr. Harris, the senior vet, quickly assessed her. He'd seen hundreds of difficult births before, but something about this case made his gut twist. He placed a hand on Bella's belly. It was firm, unusually still. His eyes met Emily's for a brief, uneasy moment. "Get the ultrasound ready," he ordered. "Now." The room fell silent except for the steady hum of machines. Dr. Harris applied the gel and pressed the ultrasound wand gently against Bella's swollen belly. The monitor flickered to life, showing faint movements deep within. At first, everything seemed normal, the rhythmic pulse of tiny heartbeats, but then his expression changed. He leaned closer, frowning. "Wait, that's strange," he murmured, adjusting the probe. Emily's stomach tightened. "What's wrong?" she asked, her voice trembling. Dr. Harris didn't answer immediately. He moved the wand again, his eyes darting between the screen and Bella. "There's movement," he whispered, "but it's not all the same. Some of these shapes aren't consistent with puppies." A nurse stepped closer, her brow furrowing. "Could it be a deformity?" she asked softly. Dr. Harris shook his head slowly, disbelief clouding his face. "No. This is something else entirely." The monitor showed something intertwined. Two shapes moving as one, yet different. One heartbeat was strong and rhythmic, the other faint and erratic. Dr. Harris swallowed hard. "I've never seen this before," he muttered. Then suddenly the smaller heartbeat flickered. Bella whimpered in pain. Emily clutched her hands together, tears brimming in her eyes. "Please, doctor, just save her," she pleaded. Dr. Harris turned to his team, his voice firm but shaken. "Prep for emergency surgery, now." The room burst into motion, a glove snapping, lights brightening, as the mystery inside Bella's womb prepared to reveal itself. Bright surgical lights flooded the room as Bella was gently lifted onto the operating table. The steady beeping of the heart monitor echoed in the tense silence. Emily waited outside, hands clasped tightly, whispering silent prayers through trembling lips. Inside, Dr. Harris and his team worked swiftly, their movements precise, voices low but urgent. "Scalpel," the vet nurse said, handing him the instrument. Dr. Harris made a careful incision, his face set in concentration. The room held its breath. Minutes passed like hours. Then suddenly his gloved hands paused. "Hold on, what is this?" he murmured. The nurse leaned in, her eyes widened. He carefully lifted the first puppy, weak but alive. Relief flickered for a second, until another shape caught his attention. Smaller, softer, unlike anything he'd ever seen in a canine womb. His brow furrowed. This isn't a puppy," the nurses exchanged startled looks. The tiny creature was moving faintly but unmistakably alive. Dr. Harris felt his pulse quicken as realization crept in. Something impossible was unfolding before their eyes. "Get me the camera," he said quietly. "Everyone needs to see this." Dr. Harris stared at the tiny creature resting in his palm. A fragile newborn kitten, its fur damp, its chest rising and falling beside the puppy it had been fused to. Gasps filled the room. "It's a kitten," whispered one of the nurses. "How is that even possible?" Shaking his head in disbelief, Dr. Harris explained softly. "It looks like somehow a premature kitten must have been absorbed into Bella's womb days ago. Her body treated it as her own." He paused, emotion thick in his voice. "And against every law of nature, both of them survived." Emily covered her mouth in shock, tears spilling down her cheeks. Bella hadn't been refusing to give birth. She had been protecting two lives, waiting until both were ready. Dr. Harris smiled faintly, his voice trembling. "This isn't a medical case," he said. "It's a miracle, a 1 in a billion miracle." Days later, Bella lay peacefully in her bed, surrounded by her tiny litter. 6 healthy puppies, and 1 tiny kitten nestled among them. The kitten, now stronger, nuzzled beside its new siblings as Bella licked them all with the same motherly care. Emily watched through tears, her heart overflowing with gratitude. The story spread across social media, touching millions who couldn't believe such a bond was possible. But for Emily, it wasn't about fame, it was about love. Because in that moment, one truth was clear: a mother's heart knows no species. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible animal miracles.